Okay, welcome back here, Gavin, with another episode of the 1 Minute Vlog. Today, we're going to be talking about 6 fun signs you are awakening, right? And if you didn't watch the most recent vlog, the previous vlog before this, it was 5 not so fun aspects of awakening, right? And I think they go hand in hand. And I feel like they're both not, um, you know, looked at as negative or positive as just part of the process. Okay, so let's dive into today. Number one of the first fun sign that you're awakening, or one of the aspects of it, would be that fear greatly, like noticeably, reduces. Okay. So I didn't ever realize until I started diving into this process and into like the pursuit of oneness, which by the way isn't necessary. We are already one, but just like the remembering of it, the knowing of it, the experiencing of it. Okay. Is that I realized like I used to think like it was my ego, like this arrogance that I had it all figured out, but I didn't realize how much fear was there. Like almost everything was driven by fear. And like I was motivated by that. I was like, oh, what if this could happen? Then I have to do this. Or if I do this, then that, will make this better. Underneath it all was just this fear. And that's an awful feeling. And I ignored that for many years. And when I had to face it, those fears were like, it wasn't fun. Okay. But when you start on this and you start dealing with the fears, what you notice is like the things that used to scare you, the things that used to trigger you, the things that used to be very difficult get easier and easier, to the point that like not only is it no big deal anymore, but a lot of them disappear. Like you've dissolved them, you've let them go, and therefore they don't even need to pop up into your story, into your matrix anymore, right? Which is really cool. A Course in Miracles would call that forgiveness, right? Is that letting it go of these false beliefs, and therefore, if we don't believe in them anymore, if they're not there anymore, if there's not a fear or stigma or trigger around it, like it's not in our presence anymore. It's not in what we think is our reality. And so we just change the way we look at it and forgive it, knowing that it's not, real, what how A Course in Miracles would say it, and not who we really are. And it dissolves, right? So I've noticed a sense of peace in my work, in my finances, in just all aspects of my life, that where I still have the same responsibility. I still have kids going to college. I still have bills. I still have all these things that would have like before like petrified me of like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for all this. I don't know how this is going to work out. And going into this awakening process and letting go, I know it's going to work out, which leads to the next thing. Number two, trust. An absolute increase in trust. And how do I trust more? Is because I'm following the guidance. I'm listening to the guidance. I, have had enough evidence and seen enough really cool things happen that my trust and my faith increase. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to figure out every situation. I hand it over to God. I hand it over to the universe. I hand it over to spirit, whatever word you want to put in there. And I let go of the outcome. I don't need a certain thing to show up. I'm trusting that what is supposed to happen will happen. And that's, oh man, I mean, just saying that, it's so like peaceful. It's so nice. And like, has so much relief to it of like, oh, I don't have to figure it out. Like my job is to, as often as possible, stay centered, stay balanced, stay connected to oneness, to God, to love, right? That's my goal, right? And then everything else is just, a letting go of the illusion, a letting go of the darkness, and stepping towards the light and allowing the perfection to unfold. And that's what I feel like this journey is it's just it's a remembrance to the trust of what's real, of who we really are. And then we start letting go more and more and more, trusting of that higher power, that inner knowing, and allowing it to unfold as it will without having to worry about it. I mean, it's a cool feeling. I'm not saying I don't have concerns. I don't like wonder how this is going to happen. I still catch myself all the time. But on a daily basis, I'm here now, and that's what matters. And trusting more and more and more that the plan is better than I could ever imagine, that is better than my controlling plan. Detaching and surrendering is so much more fun than needing a certain outcome and then being disappointed. Okay. Number three, taste of the divine, how I would say it, is like you start getting more and more glimpses, seconds, minutes, hours of bliss, of connection, of knowing oneness, of having the consciousness that we are the awareness, that we are the oneness, that it's not this Gavin, like you're watching this video, but there's no separation between us, that you think, oh, this is Gavin from the One Mint sharing me his experiences, when it's really this realization that like I'm talking to you, you're watching this, but we're both just having this awareness that this is all us. It's all one. It's all the I am. And that's a whole nother video. Yet more and more when you have those glimpses and you have those feelings, it's this reassurance. It's like, yes, like right now, my job is like the being. There's nothing I must do, right? All I have to do is remember that I am love. Remember that I'm one. Remember that I am God. Remember that, within me at all times is the divinity. And then I get to be the expression of that, of however it shows up, the perfection of that, of however it's supposed to unfold, right? So, you get a lot more often the taste of that divinity, of that connection, of that oneness, okay? Which then is like this muscle of like, that's what we're breathing and that's what we're allowing in every moment, okay? And so the fears and the worries and the concerns and the to-do list and like, this is what today needs to look like, is more and more let go, is surrendered to, and it's more and more about getting that taste of divinity. Okay. So another sign you are awakening, or aspect of awakening, is kind of what I just said, but happiness without attachment. Like that you don't need a goal to happen. You don't need an outcome. You don't need a result. You don't need someone to say a compliment to you. You don't need someone or like something at work to happen, or to make a certain amount of money, or to people to drive the way that you want, or that, a family member that they behave the way you want, or say, something that you want, right? It's a long list that we humans usually search for and needing to then be happy. And I've started learning more and more like that all of those things are the distraction to happiness. All of those things are what I like, the searching, the seeking of those things, the needing of those things were what actually were keeping me from the happiness. And that I am the happiness. We are the happiness. That's who we are. And when we begin from there, okay, then we bring that to all those other things that we may choose to go do in what we think is the world, okay? And it's a radical shift. But you start just noticing that you're happy and joyful and even at times blissful for no reason, because that's, just who you are. That's what is. That is truth. And talk about freedom. Talk about like, that's like, the holy grail is that you can just be happy and like whatever's going on in the world, whether it's wars or whether it's the economy, you can be happy. All of it's going to pass. All of it's not necessarily even real. It's just something that we are temporarily perceiving and buying into that story, and that we're using as a chance to be a victim and to be distracted from who we really are. And when we let those things go and we come from that, we can be the expression of that truth. Okay? Okay, sorry. My dog just started playing upstairs. I was like, oh my gosh, is that like, I don't know what that was. So, number 5, okay, is what I feel like is a sign you're awakening is a lot more energy, just natural energy. I feel like when I used to just make everything about like a goal or something I needed to do that day, like the amount of energy that I had to manufacture to just even do something I did not want to do was tough, right? And wasn't fun, and it was extremely tiring. So I've just noticed that naturally I'm more energetic, that I'm at a higher vibration, I have more, like a higher frequency, and that I just naturally, without anything, feel better. I've noticed because of that, like I'm more drawn to drinking more water and to eating healthier foods and to not drinking alcohol. There's just a lot of things that come with that when you notice this and you feel better, that like you're drawn to more healthy, what would be called healthy, and there's no judgment there, but natural things into your body because it just resonates vibrationally. Okay. And I've noticed my energy go up and up and up. And that's cool because I used to be very tired. Number 6, inner peace, just like this natural contentment. Like I used to just, oh my gosh, just like this drive. Like because I went to school and because I have this job and I'm here to make this, like I want to go make money. I want to have things. I want to go on vacations and striving, doing, needing, right? And now, like, I don't know about doing, like, I'm still participating in similar activities, which I feel like is part of my training, as part of my practice. Like that you can still be in the world, Gavin, but you can be shifting how you perceive it and how I look at it and changing my vibration and like slowly letting go of the things that I used to think I needed that were required of me. And it's like all of us are on this journey. That's, if wherever you're at, it's perfect for you. This is perfect for me, and I've accepted that. I've embraced it. I'm allowing it, which usually, I for years had so much resistance, and now I know it's part of the healing. I know it's part of my process, and I was like, okay, bring it on. I'm good with it. But now, whether it's with my job or with my boss or with like the results, like I just have this inner peace. Like I show up as the love. I show up as all these things I'm learning. I show up as the reflection, and I show up as my truth, and I let go of the result from there, which really just brings like this, everything I'm sharing with you, into practice. It brings in the reduced fear, the increased trust, the taste of divinity, the happiness, and the higher energy. And ultimately, like this peace, this beauty, this knowing that like I get to embrace and live life. You get to like, you see the contrast and let go of like thinking that anything is bad or that you need life to be a certain way. And as we do that, like we start to begin to see like the beauty. We get to see the perfection. It's not just this thing we read in a book. We get to experientially understand like how amazing this body perceived like matrix story illusion can be. It can be this absolute nightmare, or it can be heaven on earth, where like the saints, the masters, have come first from their vibration, first from their knowing, first from stillness and within, and then they bring that to the world, right? It's a flip. And that's, if you're doing this journey, it's what I'm going to be teaching, it's what I'm learning, and it's my intention to be the demonstration of that. And that's why bringing you along on this documented journey, I guess would be. I still fight with some of the aspects, like I've said on other videos, yet just being transparent, being vulnerable, Okay, and just sharing. So hopefully those 6 signs, there's many more that you probably are experiencing. Feel free to, what's difficult for you, what's been really fun. Leave a comment. Let all know. We're like, I'm creating a community of people who are on this and looking for clarity and looking for that sense of like, connection with other people who are going through the same thing, that we can all support one another. We can, you know, let each other know that all is well, and that we can share and we can learn experientially through each other. So that's pretty much the One Mint in a nutshell. That's what I'm doing on these vlogs. I'm going to be starting to do my podcast again, to where I do more of a teaching. And I used to like started off with like interviewing people, but right now what I've realized, my schedule is different every day. It makes it very hard to schedule it with somebody else. So I'm going to start doing podcasts again, just myself teaching and kind of asking these questions and answering it. So invite you to go look at that. Don't know how recent this video is from when you're watching it, but as always, much love. Thank you for being here. All is well. We are all already awakened. We are all already one. And yet we're all on, that process to either knowing that or uncovering that. Okay. So talk to you soon, my friends. Much love. Bye-bye.